Έχουμε μαζί μας έναν σταρ του NBA, τον Νικόλα Βούσεβιτς. I just said I have a star in the NBA with you. Thank you for your time. Up and down season for you guys so far. How happy are you with how you guys have been playing, you know, with the play-in coming up pretty soon?
Last couple of games have been better. We're just on a 4-game road trip on the West Coast, and we went 3-1, so pretty satisfied with that. But yeah, like you said, the season's been a little up and down. Obviously, we've had a lot of injuries come up. Guys been out and out of lineup. 2 starters been out for the season, so we've had to deal with quite a bit of things. And I think apart from our really bad first 20 games where we didn't play well at all, we've been playing a little better. Obviously, because of the start, we're in a little bit of a tricky position, having to be in a play-in. But we're going to try to be the best we can these last 17 games. Try to get in the play-in and hopefully make the playoffs through that.
I have to ask you some European questions. You're one of the best big men in the game. Center's been dominating the MVP discussion. You got a preference between Jokic and Embiid, and how happy are you that centers are getting? They threw him out of the All-Star game a few years ago, and now they're getting the attention that they deserve again.
I think what's happened is that centers have evolved with the way the games have changed. Has been changing. We've changed as well. Now you have centers that can really pass the ball, can put on the floor, make plays, shoot threes, do almost play like guards. Now you have Wanyama, who's 4 or 5, but plays like a guard. So I think we've had to adjust because the game has changed. And I thought it's just kind of created just a different center position that it used to be. You don't see as many big men anymore just posting up and playing that way. Now the game's faster. There's a lot more threes going up, faster pace, and we have to adjust. I mean, in general, whatever position you play, the game's always evolving, is always changing, and you can't get stuck in time. Whatever you agree with it or now, where you think basketball's better before, it's not, or whatever it is. The game's changing, you have to follow, and you have to be able to adjust. And I think a lot of big men that have been here for a long time, they've been able to do that. And obviously the newer generation that's coming in, they've obviously been learning to play that way. So I think it's been great for the game of basketball to see more big men being able to do different stuff and adjust, and hopefully that continues.
I'm wondering, did you happen to catch what Γκίλμπερτ Αρίνας said in a podcast? Said like Europeans are soft, and that's the reason there's no defense in the NBA. What's your take on that?
I don't have nothing to say about that. But as far as the defense in the NBA, I think it's just more. First, it's very hard to play defense in the NBA. Part of it is the change of rules, where a lot of it was favoring, and it still is a little bit, the offensive players. They've changed a lot of stuff on the defense that's made it harder. Also, with the 3-point line now, and everybody's shooting so many threes, and you have most teams have at least 3 to 4 guys that can just shoot threes and get hot at any time. It creates so much space, and it's hard to defend now, especially with all the skill set that's in the NBA. For example, us today against the Clippers, you have James Harden with the ball, but then you have Zubats rolling, and then you have Kawhi Leonard and Paul George and Norman Powell on the wing. It's everybody can shoot, and they spread out the defense. There's a lot of space. There's a 3-second rule in defense, and it's just hard to cover so much space, when the ball's moving, guys are making moves and everything. And I think that people that have not played in the NBA and have not actually competed at this level, they don't understand it. And sometimes I know on TV it looks like that, but it's also because guys are very, very good offensively, and they make it look easy. And it's much harder than it is to do. But yeah, I mean, people have their opinions, whatever they want to say. A lot of people say stuff just for attention, but doesn't matter. I think the NBA is shown to be the best league in the world. If it wasn't, you wouldn't have as much of a big following as we do.
Can I ask you about the second best league in the world, the EuroLeague? Do you follow it all? Who do you like to watch when you have free time? What style of basketball do you like to watch? And give me a Final Four prediction.
Yeah, I watch it. I follow it a lot. And obviously, the team I watch the most is Zvέzda. I'm a Zvέzda fan, so fortunately, not a great season for us. A little rough, but it is what it is. But yeah, it's been good season. A lot of good teams. A lot of teams that can compete for the Final Four. I would say that I'm not a big fan of the Final Four just because it doesn't necessarily mean the best team wins. You know, when you play one game, you know, you can have an off night or something. I think they should change it to like a playoff set where you best out of 5 at least, and that's when you really see who the best team is. But as far as this season, who I see in the Final Four, I think obviously Real Madrid has been playing great all year. I see them in there. I think Fenerbahce might get in there. They've been playing well. Barcelona's got a good team. They've been up and down, but I think they got a chance. And number four, maybe Monaco. I mean, they've been playing pretty good.
Monaco, Olympiacos, Panαθηναϊκός versus Bologna.
Yeah, Panαθηναϊκός, actually, I like them a lot. They've been playing well. Panαθηναϊκός have been playing really well, especially since they added Kendrick Nunn. He's been playing really well for them, so I think they have a chance. They have a really deep team as well. They could play really well, yeah. And Athaman has won it before, so he knows what it takes.
Thursday, Olympiacos against Panathinaikos. Winner's probably he's gonna have a better chance. Whoever wins the game is gonna have a better chance to get home court advantage. Safe to say you'll be watching that game?
When is it?
On Thursday.
Do we have a game then?
I'm not sure. I haven't checked, but it's kind of early in Europe, so it might work out.
It might work out. I mean, if I have a chance to watch, I'll probably watch. I mean, it's always a great game. Obviously, it means a lot to the fans, like, you know, Zvezda and Partizan back in Serbia. So yeah, it'll be fun to watch. Yeah, if I can watch it, I'll definitely watch. Obviously, you know, I have to go with Olympiacos because of the you know, have to do that. But yeah, it should be a good game. You know, obviously that's always the derbies are always, you know, specific games. No matter who the favorite is, you never know in a game like that.
We appreciate your time. Always nice talking to you, and a big fan of your game. Wishing you the best, man.